Hopefully you can hear me. It looks like my volume is working okay. Sorry, I was a minute late. Oh my, I did not mean to be. Trying to catch up. My hair is wet, so forgive that too. So hello, everybody who does come. I saw Lisa commented. And I will comment back really quick. My name is Juniper Blue Mystique, for those who don't know me. At least that's what Spirit called me. I don't know, right? That's not my real name. Good morning, Lisa. Hello. I wasn't going to do, I'll just tell you. I wasn't going to do healings today because I'm not feeling too good. So I set one up for Tuesday on Facebook. But I don't know. We'll see. I do when I got on. So I was coming on today and I got the nudge to give a message for Twin Flames, and I was told to grab specific decks. Hi, Gigi. Hello, everybody. So I did that. So we can definitely do some messages while I draw these out today. And then Tuesday we could possibly do healings. That might be the way to go. They are asking me, my hair needs to be brushed, but it's wet, so it's bugging me. So forgive. Hello, Just Saint. So glad everybody's here today. You guys, I've been battling it. The energies have been off the charts. The DM is not with me. So my, these, it's been something. So I've got this horrible headache. It's like I've been tired. My body took quite a hit in the ascension stuff, you guys, for the real. That's how I know that I can't deny it. No matter what I try to do, that what I went through is very real, because my body took a hit. It took a hit. So I've been less around, so I apologize. Haven't been feeling too great, but I am here. And so I'm glad everybody's here with me. For those who don't know me, again, they call me Juniper Blue Mystique. My real name is Bree, or Brianna. So you might hear that thrown around too. I go by both legally. The business actually goes by both legally, Brianna Storsley and Juniper Blue Mystique. So honestly, both are very valid and relevant. And that is who I am. I think right now, Lisa, though, we're all struggling a little bit with these energies right now, but that's okay. I don't mean to I'm, sorry I'm bringing that up, but it is what it is. It's just the struggle is real right now, I think, for a lot of us. And I think it's because the energies, the earth is shifting in such a way that's not normal. Just saying, it says she has a wonky internet connection today. She hopes she is able to watch the full episode without interruption. Me too. So even to be here, I have to push against that shadow. The shadow's been really pushing on me really, 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 really hard. Really hard. And I'm just super tired after everything I went through with the original twin flame. And so it's been real. So I'm so sorry. It's okay. Honestly, the challenging times are because, when you stir the pot of the energies, when you change what we've been changing, what you guys have witnessed changing, and what you've helped me change over the last 5 years now. It's like stirring the pot, right? We went in and we stirred all these energies up. And every time the energy rises higher into Christ's light, and then every time there might be union, or at least it's in the energy that we're supposed to unite, or something like that comes up, I get hit tenfold, just like with David, right? When he was around. It's just that I've been dealing with it so much. I'm like tired. I'm exhausted. I'm like, I can't. I don't want to do. Okay. Anywho, so that's what that is. Have you guys noticed in the world today all the strange happenings with the animals? Now, you ladies that are here with me today in the commenting section did this one with me, right? We're well aware of what happened with the animals, of what we did with the animals, taking them through all 13 portals into the new earth, and what happened, what that looked like. It's like this karmic kickback, right? And then I'm noticing all these strange things with animals. Like in Florida right now, there's these, I guess, sharks possibly. I can't remember exactly what it was. We'd have to look it up. I was going to do a Zoom live so that I could show you guys, but I might dive into that deeper later on. But the fish, they're acting really strange. And the marine biologists, whatever they are, trying to figure it out. They're studying it. They're doing research. They don't get it. They don't understand why these animals are either washing up, dying, or flipping around and spinning out and just doing really, really weird things. And then I think about all of these times, right? When I went underwater, we went underwater and activated how many pyramids underwater? Like a lot, right? There was a lot of things that I did underwater. And I forget about those during the return of Christ work. I forget about some of those because there were so many of them. And they were quite frequent. You guys know better than I do that I was doing something almost every day for a while there. It was every week at least, right? I was literally doing something. But those big workshops were quite often, once a month, once a week. I don't know. Did you saw a bird walk backwards on a power line today? Lisa says yes. Yeah, and there were so many times. And so you have that. And the waters of the oceans are changing in such a way that they know that's signs right there. And it's signs of the end of times. It's signs of many things. It's signs that there's changing in the oceans, right? Here's your sign, right? We can definitely equivocally say that there's changing in the oceans. I noticed I do this a lot. I'm gonna try not to. Sorry. So there's changing in the water. There's all these subtle changes. They're not massive all the way yet, but do we really want them to be? Let's be real. But then we're coming into this eclipse. Okay, now this eclipse is big. This new moon that just occurred was big. And I don't know if union was supposed to occur, but I get tired of saying that word, attacked. It does start to weigh on you. And it's like, does this really keep happening this much? But yeah, it does, because union didn't occur. And so there's always that push to keep that separation, no matter what. It's huge because that's what happened with God. And so this will continue and play out and continue and play out until the end, until it's done. So every time we rise in energy, it just gets yucky, right? These nasty things get in, this nasty energy gets in, and you go through this internal battle, and it gets exhausting. It gets exhausting. The spring equinox portal is soon open as well. I would say it already is, just saying. So also too, see, that's the thing, is the work that I did is so complex and so vast. Remember how they said so many times that astrology is changing? Our timelines have expanded because I undid the false concept of time. How many times did I do that? And then when I would do things with the pyramids and things like that. Oh, and 7D, when we went into further expansion of the universal flow and 7D and all the planetary alignments and things, they said multiple times that we have to consider that, let's say the spring equinox was on the 19th, right? We have to consider now that date expanded forward and backward. The false concept of time has changed. And then when you think about the sun and the moon alone, you guys, I haven't even brought that up yet because I think that's going to be in the weekly energy video. Yeah. So everything I did, I kept saying we have to expand the concept of time. We have to expand our energetic dates, right? And so this moon energy we're still in, we are already going into this, it's like this melting pot of different energetic combinations right now. And they're very powerful. They're very potent. And it's leading up to what they call the union. That's the sun and the moon energy, the eclipse, right? And it may have well been supposed to be a twin flame union because they're calling for a twin flame message today as well. And that's why I got all this negative energy coming at me at once. And I'm just so tired from all of the ascension work that I've done. So I'm trying to gather my strength back and be like, I got this. I'm anchoring into my spiritual strength right now because these energies are so massive. And it leads up to this to this eclipse, this end of times prophecy, they're calling it, right? But if you think about the sun and the moon work that I did, you guys, let's remember that. I moved the moon, I moved the sun. I was doing this thing with the language of the sun. And then when Horus returned, I really wish more people would watch that video. The Horus return one, because I did the Nile, back in June of 23, right? I went through the Nile portal. I opened up the 13th gate. And I really wish people would watch the Horus return one, because that's when we did more stuff to the moon. Remember? I went in and I broke this crust off the moon. It was like what they called, like, almost held commandeered. I can't remember the words they used. That's in Horus Return. I encourage you guys to watch it, because we did stuff to the moon. My DM was not with me. And so I had to have them help me, like, hold the energy still while I did all these things to the moon. And I broke off this crust of the moon. What's up? Roger is here. Instead of in church, he is with us. But I broke off all this crust to the moon. That makes me happy, Roger, to see you. Hello. And then it expanded and expanded, and it kept expanding. And then I said, the sun will never fully block the moon again. The moon will never fully block the sun again. And I've moved the moon and the sun several times. I've done this several times. I have undone satellites from the moon way back in the beginning of the ascension work that I started doing. And that's undoing the false darkness of the moon, the false pull of the moon. That's in my ascension playlist. You can watch that one too. You might be able to heal a little bit in that one. I think it was a guided meditation I did for here. But anyways, in that one, we actually I said a satellite will fall, and within 18 hours, it did fall over Oregon. And I posted the proof under that video as well. And so I've done all this stuff to the sun and the moon, and it's all a part of the return of Christ work that I did. And you can watch it, right? Watch the Horus return, watch the Nile one, watch the 7D videos. There's 2 of those. There's activating the dormant chakra system and then taking us into 7D. Yeah. Oh my God, you guys, that's a reason to celebrate. Roger, I could cry right now. Not because I'm not putting anything down, but you have no idea how big that is right now in the ascension. Like, the energy that's been coming up, the things that have been coming up. Oh my gosh, my heart is filled right now. I'm so very proud of you. God is in your heart, my friend. God is in your heart right now, God, because of what's happening with the earth, because there's this division, right? God is in your heart right now, and that's where you need to go to find him. But you can always find him in the right places, right? In the right places. So I am glad you are today in the right places, my friend. I really, really, really am. That decision is monumental in my book. So I'm super happy you're here. So you guys, these energies are crazy, right? And when you think about, if you truly watch my videos, I really wish you would, because they're so amazing. It's still stuff that I'm processing, and I've been doing it since 2019, since my Kundalini awakening. And it's things like the blood of Christ. We brought it down, rebuilding the crystalline grid, activating pyramids, clearing Mount Shasta, cutting off life support to California, like all these things that I did. And then these energies that are coming in, it's like these transitional phases and all these things. It's beyond our understanding. We don't really know how it's going to play out, right? But I will tell you that it absolutely is the end of ways. That's what Spirit calls it. It's the end of ways, and the end of days for some things, and some, right? But especially those that don't belong. And it's monumental. And so what exactly is going to happen with the solar eclipse? I'm going to deep dive into that more probably tomorrow, for tomorrow's video, and into this week. But Spirit does want me to give a twin flame message today, so I'm going to do that. Oh, it is St. Patty's Day. That's right, you guys. Happy St. Patty's Day. So I was reading the comments. I'm so sorry. So Just Say It says, when she saw she was coming on today, she was curious to see if I might tune into fairy and leprechaun energies, as today is March 17th, St. Patrick's Day. Oh, Roger. So I forgot. Today is St. Patrick's Day. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. I don't celebrate a lot of the holidays, so I forget about them, right? But we're all a little bit of a mutt. I'm a little bit of a St. Patty anyways, so I should celebrate it, but I don't. Yeah, I think that's probably a good idea right now, Roger, because I did those. Here's the thing about that. If you guys look at my channel recently, I did these videos where I said God is not in the church. And there's a reason for that. Okay. They took pieces of God and they did bad things with it. And if you watch every part of my journey unfold, they tell us that it's been shown repeatedly what happened with the undoing of the Holy Grail. It wasn't even what they said it was at all. Like, that was mind blowing. And when you would look at every piece, every component, the anointing of the blood of Christ, and you listen to every piece that was said in them, undoing of all these contracts. When I undid Mount Shasta Part 1, we undid contracts back to Abraham Lincoln. I was like, what? Yeah. And so, we undid all of these things. And just Saint is the help. Lord help me, just Saint. Put it in the comments, please, what you helped me with religion, because I don't like to oust your part for you. And you are here with me, so you're welcome to give me permission to talk about what you did with it. But religion in the return of Christ was undone because it's a division. Okay? It's a division. So God is found within our heart. And everything they did is they took pieces of the light and they used it for bloodshed. They used it for very dark purposes. And within the return, I kept saying things like, no more. Karma is now. This is the undoing. This is the great rewind. I have undone all darkness from light. I literally put a division between darkness and light. And I said, this is the end of that time. All darkness has to leave. You cannot have any in you. It's just what it is. That's the division. And within religion was a mass part of that division. All right. There was that's not a real cross. Jesus did not die on the cross. Okay. I talk about this a lot. Yes. And Jacinth says, you helped me clear Catholicism through my bloodline. And that is true. So when I was doing the Return of Christ work, then I didn't realize what I was doing. None of us did fully. I kept feeling the nudges. They kept feeling their nudges. They kept showing up to my workshops. I kept feeling the nudges to do the workshops. And that is what I would do. And these crazy things would happen, from activating pyramids to freeing Jesus's soul, to bringing down the blood of Christ, to undoing the Holy Grail, which wasn't holy at all, to uniting Jesus and Mary Magdalene, to, gosh, you guys, it was so much stuff. Clearing the Nile, drying it up, turning it blood, opening the 13th gate, closing all 12 of darkness, and so much more. And they would show up too, and then realize that they have their own purposes, right? So those that were drawn to work with me, that at least had the nudge, had some sort of purpose, they hopefully made it to, but you have to get through layers to get there, right? So along Just Saint's journey, she was going through with me during the Return of Christ work. Every workshop that I was doing, pretty much she showed up to. She followed those nudges against that shadow, because the shadow always tries to stop you. It always tries to convince you not to go. But she would follow those internal nudges. She would follow those battles, kept choosing love, kept showing up in her own way. And then eventually she had a purpose in there too. I think it was actually when she was doing my academy. Yes, Roger. That's a life-saving measure. I'm so glad for your friend saving you. I've been praying for you, and I don't know if you know that, but I actually have. You come into my energy and I say prayers for you, and I think about how you were choosing church over this. And I was like, did you watch the anointing of the blood of Christ? Did you watch the undoing of the Holy Grail videos? Like, like, come on, buddy, come on. And so I'm so happy. Like, this is a really good reason to celebrate. So proud of you. I love you dearly, and I'm glad you're here. So Academy. So thank you, Jacinth. So while Jacinth was attending my Alchemy Academy, you guys, and everybody that had a purpose, everybody that was doing the workshops with me tended to have these purposes, right? I know Amy's not here, but she was actually Isis in a past life. And so it would just kept coming up. Gigi had a purpose, like everybody did, right? And Jacinth got to her part where it was all of a sudden, I think she could, like, in the middle of the night, she had this nudge. She had to call, and she was in my academy. When you're in my academy, it was one-on-one, and I awaken you to the new earth, right? Like, I heal you, I awake. It's like this big thing. And so it kicks your ass a little bit, right? But she had this nudge in the middle of the night, and she, like, you correct me if I'm wrong. If you called me really early and you're like, we need to meet, and I'm like, okay, let's meet. And we get together that day. I'm pretty sure it was like soon after that conversation, within that day. And we did a one-on-one, because that's how I do it. I like do it with them, and I teach them how to be their inner healer, right? The innermost master healer within themselves, because I'm a master. I can't teach any other way but how to go right to the nitty-gritty, right? Yes, that's correct, she says. Okay, so we met that day, and then all of a sudden, in the exchange, I was like, Roger, I freaking love you. I'm going to read that in just a second, because I'm having two conversations right now. For those watching, I understand this, but you guys have no idea how big this is for Roger, because I see our hearts. I see where we're going in the ascension. And I've been praying. And yes, I pray, even though I say God is not in the church. But if you watch what I did, God is all around us right now. So, the church will fall, and I'm going to tell you why. Because the day Justine and I got together, you guys, hang on, we were doing the exchange, and all of a sudden I'm like, we got to go to Salem. And she had mentioned Salem in the first part of my workshops of activating pyramids. One time she's like, we got to go to Salem, and we're all like, yeah, we'll get airplane tickets and we'll fly there, not knowing really what she meant by that at that time. And so then, like, months later, while she was in my academy now, and we were through almost towards the Nile part of it, we didn't know that was coming, of the activations. She was in the academy. We were doing the exchange. And I'm like, we got to go to Salem. I'm like, and she's like, okay. I'm like, are you ready? She's like, yep. Because I always take us place in the energy. All right. I take us to Sequoia to release our past lives once we've healed them all, in the ascension stuff too. That's in the path to righteousness. So I will energetically take us places a lot. And all of a sudden I'm like, we got to go to Salem. And I'm like, duh, it didn't dawn on me that that's what she meant months ahead. Oh, we had to go to Salem. Her and I literally had to go to Salem in the energy, but we did. And it turns out she wrote a contract there. She was supposed to meet me. She was supposed to come back. She's like, I'm going to come back and wipe you all the frick out. And she did. So first we went to Salem, right? I love this, Roger. I will catch up on your conversation here, because I'm having two, and I want to get through the first part about Descent, and then I'm going to talk about you, my friend. So don't worry, I'm going to read your comments. But we did Salem part first, and then from there we went into the bloodline, the Relation part. And I'm going to tell you about that. But so we went to Salem, and all of a sudden I smelled burning flesh, and I'm like, oh, it's like it was this horrible rotten flesh smell, and we were both burning. Like, all of a sudden I was burning on this like stake thing or a rope around my neck or something, and I could smell her burning. Like, it was just all of a sudden I was processing our deaths, and all of these people were there, and she was actually pregnant at that lifetime. She was like very young. What was it, like 17 to 22 age range, I would say, back in Salem time. And she was pregnant, and they had hung her and burnt her at the same time. So she was burning alive. And all of a sudden we were processing this, and I'm like clearing this out of her energy, and it was painful. It's never pretty. I mean, I'm making it sound okay now, but it was like painful. I was like, it was disgusting. And I was clearing it. And then the next thing I know, her contract showed, and it showed that she wrote that she was going to find me. We were going to come back, and we were going to take them the frick out. And then all of a sudden I started pulling all of these souls out of what was like the town center or whatever. It was like where they had like this big wooden platform, and where they were hanging people and burning them. But I was like taking all of these souls out of that town. And then once I did that, there was like this big, ugly, nasty black tentacle thingy. And our energy together, we just removed that thing out of, like, I took it out. So that's when we cleared Salem. And then shortly after that, was it the same day? I don't remember. This was a while ago. But after that, at some point we went back in, or it was that day, I don't know. I don't think it was at the same time. That's a lot. Spirit doesn't usually work that way because we had to process Salem. So it's probably another time just Saint and I got together and we did our exchange healing, and then we cleared Vladimir bloodline. So if you look back, and we're like, Vladimir at a different, yeah, it was a different time. I don't think it doesn't make sense to do it together. That's too much processing, and there's no way. It was a different time. So Salem was first, and then eventually we went in. So we cleared Salem. It's all cleared. All the souls were freed. This big, nasty, dark tentacle thing was out, which was the same one that I found under the tunnels when I was undoing the collective shadow one. It's like these weird, black, nasty, energy-looking things. But then we went to the Vladimir bloodline. And if you look up Vladimir, he was alive back in, I don't know, many lifetimes ago. It was a long time ago. And at his lifetime, is true, that's when something with Catholicism shifted. And all of a sudden we were in a healing and we went back to that, and I started clearing it out of her bloodline. Like, I'm not kidding you guys. And this is ascension related because everything I do is ascension related. I can't not do ascension things. That's just who I am. And so literally, like, we started undoing it from the earth, from her and through her bloodline. And we discovered that we were at that point when it was Vladimir is when Catholicism became corrupted. And we undid it. 5555. I just saw when I said that, all the way back to the Vladimir bloodline. And that was through her bloodline. And that was her life purpose within the ascension, within meeting me, within doing my workshops with me, because they'll tell you, I didn't know what was coming. None of the stuff that's on this channel that I did, I saw coming. None of us did. Right? I would say little things like, oh, we got to get some healing, or, oh, we're going to get gifts today. And then it turns out we went to the Nile and I turned it blood dry and dried it up. But I didn't know. I thought we were getting gifts. So that's truly how it would work. That's why I tell you guys is you don't see things until you see things. You are blinded to them because your choice to go into them and heal them has to be through pure free will. Yeah. So it has to be those little soul nudges from God, from the heart, from your inner makings. And if you choose not to because you allow ego or fear or money or something like that, change your mind, the shadow components, then you just realize that you just chose against love and God. So God will give you those nudges of self-growth. And it feels so vulnerable to do them sometimes. Like, oh, like we have to change so much. But it's not true. That's all false. Because once you choose those little nudges, choose God, it's so freeing. And that's all I was doing. I was choosing the nudges. I was following them through. I got to do this. And anytime something would come in to try to stop me, I would be like, oh, I got to go against that. That's not right. And that's how I made it through the whole way, including through my twin flames passing and getting a walk-in. And I'm telling you guys, that changed me more than anything in the world. I can't explain to you how difficult it was to get a walk-in twin flame because my DNA changed midlife. I was this person and now I'm somewhat still this person, but I'm also this person I don't know. And I'm a grown ass adult now, you know what I mean? And so it's like really weird. It was painful. This was a painful journey. But it goes with the energies. And Roger now is coming in talking about how, and then I tell you, that's why God's not in the church. The church will fall. It was a division. The darkness got in. Everything where there's a division. If you take every piece of them and put them together in a package of love and unconditionalness, that's God, because God is unconditional. So anywhere there's judgment, justifications, anywhere there's division, anywhere there's bloodshed, Jesus on a cross, anywhere they give your power away, that's not God. Okay. Jesus can't die for our sins because it takes away our free will. And God doesn't work that way. You have power. There's power in you. You create your destiny. You create your reality, right? It's your choice, your life, your process, your path. And that's why the choices come in the way that they do. We can't have all the answers. We just have to follow those little nudges and trust. And that's all God asks, right? But they can be quite difficult to do because the shadow convinces you so well otherwise. Everything else looks so shiny and bright. And with God, it's like, oh, I have to grow. Yucky, right? That's the way I look at it. So Roger, now I was concerned because remember, he was snuffing me out. Roger was stopping to seeing for a minute there. He wasn't able to see clearly for a minute there. And he was just going to church and he wasn't coming to the lives anymore. And I was like, oh no, because I know what we did. Just Saint knows what we did on the ascension timeline during the return of Christ. You guys, we undid the Catholicism line around the time that I was bringing down the anointing of the blood of Christ, I think, and undoing the Holy Grail. It was before that. It was while I was activating pyramids. It was during the return of Christ work. We cleared Salem. We've cleared, that's why I tell you, all darkness has been cleared off this planet. And the only way for you to make it through is to clear all the darkness out of you. You have to align with the purest vibration of love. You have to clear your karma, the 13 gates of abundance. God calls them, but the Bible calls them trial and tribulation, right? But it's really, truly just you clearing your karma through testaments, through free will, through choice. Okay, and so that's kind of the difference. So that's the significance of Roger being here and now talking about what he's talking about with church and what I did through the return of Christ and what I've been saying. And then you guys, recently I did a video on my channel how I said God is not in the church. It kept coming in the energy. It didn't feel right. And I kept saying God is not in the church. The next thing I know, this other guy who does these videos, he's like, God sent me a word. He talks a lot about it. He has a lot of viewers. I forget his name. He did the same kind of video like a week later. And that blew my mind. He was like, witchcraft in the church, how to spot the witchcraft in the church. And I'm like, well, that's one way to say it. He's more connected than I thought he was because I just said that a week ago or something. Like, I'm like, God is not in it. It was like really big in the energy and in my heart. There's a big separation there. Okay, Jesus did not die on a cross. He was poisoned. He was tortured. Then they took his blood and they wrote a contract to control and enslave all of mankind under darkness, hence the false veil, hence clearing of Mount Shasta with all the bloodshed and the bodies. Like, I'm happy and praise God that you can see clearly what you needed to do in the time that you needed to do it, my friend, and just keep listening to your heart. Please open that heart more and more and more. Let those emotions out and listen to those nudges of the heart. That thing they taught us so well not to do. You know what I mean? So, just Saint says, you were asking about the timeline that Vladimir was alive. I just looked it up and it said that Vladimir the Great was a ruler who converted his people to Christianity in 988. Boom. And we both didn't know that when we did the Vladimir bloodline. It was her bloodline. It came out that she wasn't Vladimir himself, but she was the chosen one to clear it for the bloodline, right? I had that right? Because I think that's what they said to us is like, because we asked when we were in the blood, I was like literally in the blood and clearing out the shadow and from the earth and from all of the Catholicism bloodline. Correct. Okay. And so she was just the chosen one within the bloodline. I don't think he wanted to come back to clear that shit. No, that'd be big karma. So that's when he converted his people to Christianity in 988. So it's all of the religion. And then God showed me in the Bible where the words were manipulated. Jesus did not die on a cross. Again, he was very painfully murdered with poison from John the Apostle. This all came through in the work that I did over the past 5 years, right? It just kept coming through. I kept feeling the nudges. I was constantly doing the work, constantly doing workshops, constantly doing healings on people, constantly just listening to God. I wasn't on a spiritual path. I was in a psychology one. And then the next thing I knew, I'm doing workshops. I didn't know what those were. I started an academy. What the hell? Okay, right? Like, they told me I'm a master this and that. And then I was doing pyramid activations. Like, what is that? Like, it was mind-blowing. We can't deny these things. But then that brings me back to the animals and the sun and the moon and the eclipse that's coming soon and everything that's happening to me right now. Yeah, I almost wish you would leave California. Like, I don't know. I don't know. We don't know, right? I know what I did to California. I know what I did when I cracked it down the mountainside of Mount Shasta, but I don't know of all of what's going to happen to all of California. So I'm so happy, Roger. I'm celebrating you today. I'm so in celebration for you today. That is really big. It's something I have prayed for your heart to just open up and just see the truth, you know? I love it when people find the truth in their own heart, you know, because then you know that it didn't come from me. You know, it comes from God. People can't then claim, "Oh yeah, they're manipulative, they're this and that." It's like, I didn't nudge him. I didn't tell him, "Dude, you're making the biggest mistake." I didn't tell him, "Be careful, you're anchoring into the shadow." I didn't throw those things at you. You know, I just prayed and I saw what was happening and I just prayed and prayed and prayed. And look at where we're at. I'm so happy. I'm so proud of you. Because I know what's coming. We undid, and I'm so glad it was the Christianity, because I know it was bigger than just Catholicism. That makes so much more. It's everywhere there is a division, and God showed me where the Bible was and where the words were that were not correct. And when I brought down the blood of Jesus, the anointing of the blood of Christ, they specifically said karma has shifted. What is done in the light can no longer be done in the darkness, and what is done in the darkness can no longer be done in the light. And I also said, I think I said that part when I undid the Holy Grail and I united Jesus and Mary Magdalene back, the twin flames. I think I said, what is done in the darkness can no longer be brought to the light, and what is done in the light can no longer be brought into the darkness. Nay, nay, that is what they call Judgment Day, my friends, and that is what I've done. So what I realized I did in all of the work, if you look back at the totality of all of what I've done, which is what I've had to do once it was done, then I realized what I did. Then I realized, oh my God, the earth has totally changed and shifted. We all have big changes ahead of us. It's big. The crystalline grid, the pyramids, it's all there. All the proof is actually there too. I don't remember where I was going. I somehow lost my thought there for a second, but whatever, it wasn't important. I was also told to do a message for twin flames. So I do want to do that as well. Oh, no worries. What's up, Amy? Amy's here too. Amy, Roger is here. Read the comments. Dude, you got to catch up. I'm so happy. I'm like, this is big. Today's a big day. And I felt a nudge not to be here too, my friends. That's the thing. It's like I've been battling something and I'm tired because of what happened on the twin flame journey already. I'm freaking exhausted, man. That's why God asked the DM to be here many, many days ago. It's big. These energies are huge. So I will be talking about this solar eclipse coming soon this week. And what that prophecy means, because I know what I did to the sun and the moon. I know what I did recently when Horus returned to the moon. I know what I've done things to the moon a lot since 2019. All the shadow that I removed from the moon, and then the things that I did to the sun, and I know we realigned things. So I haven't really asked though what is going to come due to this solar eclipse. I just know what everything means altogether. I know it's the end of ways, right? End of days for some, end of ways for all, outside of God, outside of the true cross, outside of the truth, union of love, unconditional love, right? That's what I focus on. Some of these details I don't, because I've done so many of them. I know there's so many changes. Everything's going to change. Just everything is going to change. The more we quickly get into that, the better. Because when I first started this video, I was talking about the animals, right? They're doing really weird things, especially in the oceans. These fish are just spinning out, all going bonkers. Just sharks are in places they shouldn't be. Things are happening that are just really wonky and really strange. And the animals are your first cursor to the changes in the earth. They'll tell you when things are up. We've had weird migrations this year. Just so many weird things, little weird, subtle things. The earth tells you in very weird, subtle ways that changes are coming. Birds will act strange, especially sea life, ocean life. Cows, just migration animals, right? Their paths will become off a little bit. They will become disoriented at times. But they know the changes that are present. They know. Animals are so smart. Plus, they're already in the new earth. I know, right, Amy? I'm so happy. She read the comments about Roger and what's happening. I'm so glad too. Woo woo. All right, it's big. But I feel like I'm hurting my twin flame now, and I don't like that because you guys, I'm so tired from the original battle. I don't know how I can keep doing this anymore. Every time he's like closer to me now in union. And every time he gets closer to that new earth gate and what they call union, I don't count on the union happening though. I stopped doing that a long time ago. Because of everything that happened. Why would I? And it sucks. Like, it sucks. We really do need him. I need him more than anything in the world. And I don't mean to hurt him. I'm just tired. I'm tired of the battle. I'm tired of it. It's so exhausting. It's exhausting. So I don't know. That's where I stand right now. I don't know what's going on with the twin flames, but Spirit does want me to check in. So I do need to do a check-in. And I know that I love my twin flame so much. Yay! I'm so happy. I'm so happy, Roger. Well, keep picking up that phone. Pick up the heart calls, okay? Pick up the calls of the heart. Do not hesitate with those. They're more subtle. It's always, it's self-growth related, and sometimes we hesitate with that, and that's what we should be jumping into. Our only thing of focus right now should be getting into that new earth, because everything else is ending. Everything else will fall. And it won't happen. You'll never know. The thing is we all want to know when. We're all waiting for when, but we're wasting our time. We should be using every moment as if it's our last one anyways for growth, right? Like, I am here to grow. I'm going to soak up every second of this moment right here in time. The moment God says, do this in my heart, I feel this nudge or this interests me and I feel joy, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to stick to that, because that's the weird thing is God is love. God is joy. God is harmonious flight, balance of the masculine and feminine. There should be no judgment. There should be no fear. There should be no ego at all. That's a false concept of the mind, of the third dimensional construct. Should be no more karma. You have to heal all of that. You actually have to heal it. You can't just eliminate it. And that's why the new earth is depicted as blessings and gold and the golden era, because all karma is undone. We have to undo it all to get there. So why wouldn't you want to? But soul growth is hard, right? It is hard. It's not easy. So people don't always challenge themselves for that soul growth. Some people will choose not to, and that's why some won't make it. Some will choose not to see God because they made God look like an a-hole, and God's not an a-hole, right? Everybody has free will, but everybody's like, why would God allow all this suffering and carnage? But it wasn't God at all, and God is not a division. God will not say you're going to hell because you did this, and oh my God, you wore the wrong shoes to church on Sunday, and holy crap, you didn't show up on time. You go to those churches and then you realize under the cracks beneath the lines, they're very corrupt in a lot of ways. Not every one of them, I get that, but there are a lot that were. So how on earth can darkness be in the house of God? Just like schools. Growing up, dude, like how many teachers were sleeping with students? Like, oh my God, like how much stuff happens in a school that we really take a blind eye to? All of this darkness that was truly in the house of light, or where our kids were, or when you really put everything in totality, it's like, ew, what we were in hell, right? So just let go of everything fear, everything karma, everything darkness related. Every moment should be to the focus of healing and aligning towards more love, understanding love, understanding unconditional love, understanding things were lies. Maybe that I need to let go of my concept of understanding and open up to a further wider concept that maybe I don't know everything, because we don't. The universe is quite vast and it's changing as well. All right. And so prophecy speaking, the sun and the moon are a really big component of that also. The sun and the moon have been prophesized to be signs of the end of days. Now, this is a rare eclipse energy we're already going into, because remember in this video, I talked about how the time has changed. And so the energies are, they're more expansive. So we're already going into these energies. We're already going into a powerful pull, and you can feel it. So where you're out of balance is going to be reflected. Okay, it's going to start to be reflected where you're out of balance now. You're going to feel that internally. You're going to feel that externally. The spring equinox is already opening up in the energy. You know what I mean? You feel me? 44, 44. It's like we're already going into all these energies. So just the best thing you can do right now is go inward and work on opening up to more of those energies. And that's super important. So let's see what Spirit has to say for the twin flames, shall we? Shall we? Yeah, that one just felt so weird out of the deck there. Okay. Almost like it didn't belong, but it did. So right before I came on, Spirit wanted me to give a message to the twin flames, to my twin flamies. I don't know what's coming. They told me to grab specific decks. So I have my shaman deck. I have my masculine moon deck. This one has masculine energy in my opinion. And then I have my feminine moon deck. This one is more feminine in the energy in my opinion. Then I have this Lover's Oracle deck. Okay. Then we also have our surrender deck, because they said, oh, we need a surrender one too. And I said, oh, okay. Something else we need to surrender. Now I'm going to see if there's any channeled message that they want to. And I already hear Ashtar is coming through. So Ashtar. Okay, so I don't even need a pen. Are you ready? Ashtar is coming through for the twin flames. He is saying, hear me now. It is time to surrender to the great unknown, to the great existence of the ethereal planes and the world beyond what you are used to. Think of things like a little marble to a great big ball of light. Everything is strange. Everything has been rearranged. Everything has been undone and redone and realigned. We are now in a place of new time, new existence, new space to release what does not align. It is time to be strong within you to what you know is needed to come through and be done at this time. Release the resistance. Release the resistance. Release the resistance now. That was weird. I feel like it wasn't here. Okay. Oh, I have a headache so bad now. Hang on. That's how I was going to save the healings for Tuesday. Because I just did that little channeling and my head is like, bam. I'm like, oh, man almighty. The message. I'm going to have to watch again. I remember release the resistance. And then I saw this little ball of light and expanded to a big ball of light. I got that image. So I'm sure it's in my feels. I'll just feel into the message later again. He is such a cool being to channel though, and I felt like I was on like a spaceship, like not like I felt like I saw moving stars while I was feeling him basically use my vessel. That was cool. I haven't had a being come through in a while like that. It was nice. All right, so Ashtar gave a message to the twin flames. Resistance. I'm remembering resistance. Release the resistance. Very important to release the resistance, which they understand there is mass resistance on both sides. Mass resistance playing out on both sides. Oh, shit. I hate this card, you guys. If there's one card you don't like, most people don't like the Tower card. Yeah, well, this one is one of them that I don't like. I have to stop that because I can't give a message if I'm in an energy of I don't like. So I'm clearing that for a moment. I'm like, I need to know that there's beyond what I'm expecting in this message. I need to know that those energies are old and gone, and I need to rise above that. So I need to let any judgments go at this time for this message before I can give it. So I'm going to set these 3 to the side and keep pulling the whole entire message so I don't contaminate. Because I was like, wait a minute. I used to get that card when David was around and the twin flames and stuff. Yeah. Okay. Let me clear my heart and clear my mind. Never knew the beast was burning. What is that song? It's just coming in my head. It's like in the shadows. It's like, you'll never need to do. No. Never. What is that song? Oh my gosh. Well, it's faint now. So for whatever it is, it's just in the back of there. It's in there. There's a song in there. It's an old school song. We'll see if it comes in louder as we go. If not, maybe not that important. Let's see what else. I'm pulling the whole message if you guys don't mind, because I'm trying to remove any bias. This is why I don't do a lot of twin flame messages, because my twin flame path has been one that has required more strength than I knew I had. Let's put it that way. I love my twin flame. I am so blessed that I have a walk-in twin flame. To experience the death of a twin flame, to experience a walk-in twin flame, to experience the battle that I had on my twin flame union, the power in the soul alignment, and then it was in the attacks that they were aware of that I went through. You're welcome. Yeah. See, yeah, just sent those like a lot of tense feelings in my gut when you said that. See, yeah, I don't want to bring that into this message. I try not to bring any of that forward. It's so hard. Like that stuff was really, truly traumatic. It hurt me physically. I almost died 3 times during the ascension work, the twin flame union part. It was extremely, I wish sometimes people knew how painful that was, how much I went through for the return, through the ascension, how painful it was, and how much I almost didn't survive, because maybe they would look at me a little bit differently when I struggle in these moments, and why I look the way I do now. Because I went through hell. I literally did, and the attacks physically hurt. So I try not to bring any of that forward into these messages. So I'm treading lightly. But right now, I told you in the beginning, like I was going through something right now. Like there's not some yucky stuff going on with twin flames right now. Whoa. And I don't like it. So like I just feel like I'm just not strong enough. And so when this card came out, it's like, oh God. Oh God. But I'm going to look at the whole message. Okay. And we are going to see what it says in total. Now, one went flying. Hang on. How could you be the beast we're burning? Never. What is that song? Oh my gosh. All right. So we have. Okay. I like this. This is why I waited on that message. So the card that I don't like, I'm going to tell you, is Feast of Plenty. All right. Feast of Plenty, choices and their consequences. We got this card a lot in the original part of the twin flame union. Okay. And then that twin flame did not make it. He did not survive. So when I talk about those parts and the attacks from darkness is so freaking intense and painful. And it took everything I had to survive through. So these cards can be like, ugh, right? So Feast of Plenty It's almost the feeling people get when they pull the Tower card. They're like, oh God, right? Like, what's going to happen? What's coming? What did I do? And so I try not to bring that energy through this. But we have another card here that says, trust all will be well. Okay. So that's why I waited for the whole message to come through. We do have horned cactus, resourcefulness, jeweled web, connectivity. But we also have bring love into the situation. Now, this is something that's important because earlier I was like, whoa, I need to get back to love. So if you guys noticed, I did a spell casting the other day, and it was to realign the soul connection, right? To connect back to the divine, to undo narcolepsy, spiritual narcolepsy. And it actually worked. I didn't even rewrite it and re-say it. I just channeled that one out. I did the video because I try to do these. I work really hard, 2 jobs, and I homeschool my kids. So I do the best that I can, right? So I got it out there, and I'm like, now I need to go back and do that one again. Well, I didn't need to, because all of a sudden I can just start seeing clearly and clearly again, because the twin flames are always attacked. You guys need to understand that. Thank you, Gigi. Yeah. Aw, thank you. Okay, so I'm going to read all this. I'm going back in the messages. Okay, so Jasaint said, I understand it was incredibly difficult and painful to witness what you experienced on your twin flame journey. It was not fun. And then Gigi said, is the song Beast of Burden by the Rolling Stones? Yes, ma'am, it is. That is the song that is coming. Ooh, that makes sense. Beast of Burden by the Rolling Stones is a song that is coming through for the twin flames. Thank you so much, Gigi, for looking that up for me. The song is Beast of Burden. Yep, by the Rolling Stones. A beast of burden, never, forever, forever, da, 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 da. I don't remember the words all of a sudden, but yes, it's in the energy for the twin flames. And beast of burden makes a lot of sense. Twin flames always have a burden. We have a burden on our shoulders. It is one of the most difficult unions to go from a third dimensional reality to union with a twin flame, especially the higher frequency twin flames. There are different levels, right? The more higher you go, the more connected to God. It's just you carry more energy, you carry more light, so you have more to clear as a twin flame. And I don't think people realize that it's like a battle, right? Like it's this internal battle. You truly have to be accepting of the best version of yourself in a twin flame union. And you have to be willing to grow up, right? That's the best word I can use in my own journey, is because sometimes we just got to grow up. We may not want to change. We may not want to let things go. But if we truly get down to the nitty gritty, if I'm willing to just grow up and accept the being my best version of myself and focusing on myself and healing what I need to heal within me and looking for that joy and that balance, then that's when twin flames can unite. So they're very high frequency unions, and we have a lot to clear within them. Amy's going to write the verse for us, you guys. I love it. So we always have a lot to clear within those unions. And so they are a burden. Like it's work, right? That's why we don't always unite, but this is the end of the ways. This is the end of the world as we know it. And so twin flames have to, like, there's this big energy that we have to unite. So there is a push. There's that internal push. There's an internal push. But every time that push comes, if you know what happened to Jesus and Mary Magdalene in my video, and to Adam and Eve, and to Sekhmet and Horus in my videos, then you'll understand this more and more, because they separated your God. They took away the masculine from the feminine, and they don't want twin flames to unite. That's why the 144,000 is so relevant for the return of Christ, because they carry the Christ light that I bring through to the dome, to the protection, as this flash comes through, and everything that doesn't align goes. Okay, so you can kind of make sense that way. Twin flames are higher frequency beings. They're connected with Adam and Eve, with God. Adam and Eve are twin flames, Jesus and Mary Magdalene, Sekhmet and Horus. So all divine beings, all sentient beings truly, usually, generally are twin flames of some sort. And when you take apart the masculine and feminine, they lose power. We lose the power of God, because God is both masculine and feminine, Jesus and Mary Magdalene, Sekhmet and Horus, and Adam and Eve, and they have to be aligned. Okay, that's why it's the king and queen. They talk about that. So it makes sense. So when we're separated, we have less power. So when union is being pushed, we are attacked tenfold, and it will continue to be that way. So anytime you're going to go to heal, to get close to uniting, something's going to come to try to get you away from that. Okay. So give me just a second. I'm going to finish this twin flame message too, but Amy put the verse for us in there. She said, I'll never be your beast of burden. My back is broad, but it's a hurtin'. All I want for you to make love to me. I'll never be your beast of burden. I've walked for miles. My feet are hurting. Oh my God. Thank you, Amy. That's the song for twin flames right now. So it's, I'll never be your beast of burden. My back is broad, but it's a hurtin'. All I want for you is to make love to me. I'll never be your beast of burden. I've walked for miles. My feet are hurtin'. Yes, please. That makes so much sense for twin flames right now. I am hurting. I need my twin flame. We all need that union. We all need that love. And I don't like the choices and consequences. So whoa, these are flying out. Let's see what happens here, though. I'm trying not to judge it. I'm trying not to bring in that. Okay, my friends. I don't know. These aren't so bad. Okay, so I'm going to start at the beginning. We have a message here. Oh, I did forget the surrender card. So this is twin flames first. I got to do it because Spirit wanted me to do it. We had the channel message from Ashtar that came through that I'm barely remembering. Ugh, channeled messages. I don't have them written down. I can't remember them. Okay, let's see. I'll never be the beast of burden. Make love to me. Yeah, that fits. That's exactly what that is. Thank you guys for figuring that out for me. That is a twin flame song coming through. We have surrender defensiveness. It's a reflection of a wound that needs healed. They do seem appropriate, don't they? So appropriate. Surrender defensiveness, for sure. I changed this card because it was a lower vibration. It wasn't true. So defensiveness is a sign, it's said, of a weakness, and that's not true. It's a sign of a strength, but it's also where you've been deeply hurt. So where you get defensive, where people get angry, is a wound. Okay. But once that wound is healed, they become stronger than they were. So it's like a power. Communicate in a more empowered way. Stay centered and hear someone out. And I feel like this is energetic based too. It's super important to not be defensive to the energies coming in. Okay. Surrender to the beauty of the natural world. Beauty. This was coming through in my energy as well. It's like the beauty. Tune into the true beauty of nature. Take a relaxing break and spend time in nature. Replenish yourself by feeling the beauty and the ecstasy there. Okay. Super important. So those are what we have to surrender. Then we do have the Feast of Plenty card, which is its lessons to be learned. It is. And that's what I'm hearing here. And then we have Horned Cactus, right? Resourcefulness, Jeweled Web, connectivity. So we need to remember that we are all connected. All of our actions affect one another. Twin flames. This is a twin flame message, but it does resonate with everybody as well. We are truly all connected. All right. So if a negative thought comes into my head and I entertain it for even a split second, it's going to be entertained in everybody we're connected to. But if it's going into my head and trying to tempt me, it's also going into theirs in their own way. Okay. So we are all connected. So what I choose to do in the vibrational pulls everybody else through too, and vice versa. And this is difficult sometimes. Sometimes that's that beast of burden. Like it is a burden, but on the other hand, it's also a gift. Choices do have their consequences. And that's what I said. I don't feel like I'm strong enough right now to continue battling the shadow with the twin flames. Like I already went through hell. I lost a twin flame. The second one was supposed to step up. I ended up finishing it all out by myself. I'm tired. And I did get to that place. I got to that place. I just couldn't battle it for a moment. And so I just stopped anything, right? And then I didn't feel very good. And so those are choices. There's consequences to our choices. I chose in that moment. I didn't have the strength to battle it just for a moment. And that's with these energies that are coming in with the sun and the moon too. Makes a lot of sense to me. And so I'm like, I wish the DM could just get it together and step above all of that and do what he needs to do, right? That's my wish for everybody, for the whole entire collective soul, because it would truly help. So can he just bypass what it is and just step forward? But right, nobody can change the way of God, the law of the land. So Feast of Plenty, there are choices to our consequences. So we just have to choose wisely when times are tough, when energies are rough. Okay. And remember that we're all connected, and that will help us in those moments, but also to trust that all will be well. Okay. Trust that all will be well. That's, I'm trying to do that myself. Bring love into the situation. I've been trying to do that myself in a very big way, because a lot of people don't send love my way. And so it's, I always have to be in a state of love regardless, and sometimes it just tears at you, you know what I mean? That's why you have to make sure you're filling your well, but attend to the details. Here we have that again. It's super important to attend to the details. Take your time with things. Don't rush decisions. Sit down, think about them, feel into them, bring love into the situation, then take action. Okay, but you need to make time for self-love. All twin flames. It is super important to make time for self-love. And then we have surrender. At times, we must surrender the old before something new can enter our lives. Let go and all will work out, right? So we have to surrender. Some surrendering here is needed. And I said that. That's why they had me grab the surrender cards. But more surrendering. We do have soulmate here. Your soulmate is already with you in spirit. Believe this, and they will manifest physically. Okay, that's important. We are already united. We are already connected. We are already one. So believe that. You are already one. Then there's passion. I'm hearing passion reignited. A magnetic and seductive quality surrounds you at present. Enjoy it. Romance. Cupid's arrow strikes. Love is on the horizon, my friends. That's what I'm hearing. So that is all twin flames. They're saying it's okay. Breathe, but focus inward. Okay. Yes. Just saying. It says, I love how you change that so the defensiveness can become a power. Yeah, that card it always rubbed me wrong. I'm like, no, those are not weaknesses. Those are strengths. It's where we were once strong. Being vulnerable is a strength. Being in your emotions is a strength. And there's always times in our life, there's a lot of times in our lifetimes where we give that strength in a vulnerable way and somebody hurts it, right? And so there's those wounds, and that's when we become defensive a lot of times. And so it's truly a sign of strength, never a sign of weakness. And then in order to navigate out of that defensiveness takes strength as well, right? Because you have to be strong enough to rise above in the moment that it's happening and break the chain, break the cycle. So yeah. So we have to be very careful with the way we word things sometimes, especially on cards, right? I can't wait till my next 2 decks are done, you guys. I keep working on them. I'm getting there. I think I'm about 30 cards into the one, but I'm hand drawing all of it and channeling the messages. I love them. And at the same time, I have a twin flame deck coming. So I'm super excited. That was an oopsie because I had to start the other deck all over and redo the first half of it. In that midst of that, I came through to do a twin flame deck. So I have 2 coming at one time. I'm so excited for those. It is probably my fault with the twin flames at this point because, I wish people would understand the strength that it's already required of me to get to where I am on the ascension journey. I don't know how I completed it, you guys. I don't know how I finished it. but I truly did. I took the whole entire return of Christ all the way through the completion of it. So the Nile, we did the 13th gate. I processed the earth's death. Horus returned. Both sides, masculine and feminine, have been rebuilt, reactivated, returned. All of Christ's light returned, all DNA activated. And it took me 5 years in descent. We ended Catholicism. There are pieces of others, unfortunately. They fell prey to the shadow on the journey, and they didn't choose to rise, unfortunately. So we are missing some components of the ascension work. But for the most part, everything was completed. And it took so much strength to get here. And when we go to unite with the twin flames, I am trying to stand in that strength, because when I got a walk in, it hurt. It hurt. I can't explain how much it hurt my vessel. Activating the pyramids, my heart became enlarged, right? And so when I did all of this, it hurt. It changed me. And I've been trying to still stand in strength, even after I somehow survived my first twin flame. And I brought the whole entire ascension stuff that my DM and I were supposed to do together through by myself. So it was a lot, and people unfortunately just judge it instead of watching it and seeing the miracle and the amazing grace that it was and that it is and what has happened. And if they would just do that and see the pain, then they would understand it's very real. How we survived it is still beyond me. How we brought it all the way through is still beyond me, because they've tried before and we weren't successful. But we did it this time. And so this time where there is a struggle, it might be my fault. I'm trying really hard to regroup it, to regain my spiritual strength right now. It takes a lot. And I've just done so much. So I'm working on it. I'm shifting back into an internal compass and trying to keep the ball rolling. I don't know about this 3 channels. Like, there's so much I'm doing now, and I'm just like, I don't know anymore what's important to me. We did the whole ascension. What's important now? The DM has not stepped up. I really need him to. I really, really, really need the DM to step up. God, that would make our whole lives better. Until then, what do you do? What do you do? We're just going to ride the waves. I'm going to do the best that I can. I hope everybody understands. I want everybody to be in love, sympathy, joy, grace, and just everything that you do in the world every day. Look at ways to be happy. Okay. I am so happy Roger is here today. I am so freaking happy Roger is here today. I'm elated. I'm elated that shift occurred, because if you anchor into the darkness right now at all, you will fall with it, even if you consciously didn't allow that to be absorbed. Okay. Because the earth has already changed. Everything's already been done. And so we have to change with it. We have to rise with it. We have to heal out of it so we can see clearly, because if you can't see what I've done through me or in the energy, let alone, you're not anchored into the light. Okay. Oh yeah. Things will go unexpectedly, because expectation is not of God. That's an ego thing. I think that we do that, right? We expect things to go, and that's ego. And every time that happens, it's like, that's those tower moments. I love it. All right. Roger really wants a message. I will say, yeah, because Roger, you actually heard that call. So I will give you a quick message. But I may bunk out after that. I will do a live on Tuesday on Facebook. I already have that set up, and we can do some healings and messages there, you guys, if you want to come join me. And then I have my video coming for tomorrow, but working 2 jobs. I got to work in some time with the kiddos, the chillins, and it's Sunday. So I got to go shopping or something. Got to go do something. All right, Roger, let's see. Okay, right when I went into your energy, Roger, I got the song Everything Changes When You Love Someone. Everything changes. So, and then the thing that I'm seeing is, doors only, like, your reality changes only when the doors that are open are used. And so that's a reflection that you shifted your reality. You are going to be shedding some layers. There's going to be emotional release coming in the next few days, and that's going to be okay. Just let it flow if it does. Please try not to hold back tears and emotions. Just give yourself space to process those through. But you shifted your reality. So things aren't going to change, but it's going to require a little bit more than what you've already done. And that's what Spirit is saying for you. You have a little bit more of reality shifting to do. Some of this is work related. And another part of it is tuning into the earth more. It's imperative for you to start really listening to those nudges. You need to slow down the mind, slow down the environment, and tune inward and trust those nudges immediately without hesitation. Because when you're hesitating on your own knowing, you've been releasing emotions. You're going to be releasing a few bit more. I love that. That's a good thing. That is a good thing. We want our reality to be shifting. We want these emotions to be rising right now. That's a good sign in a lot of ways, especially if we ride them, right? But it's super important for you to trust your gut over others. But not your ego head, not the mind, the gut, right? So our gut will immediately tell you something. There will not be a split second. There will not be a thought process in it. When our thought process occurs, we're not in our gut, we're in our head. And then the message is now distorted because it's coming from an ego space. And then if our emotions are heightened at that time, we're not getting a clear answer either. So you're going to have to learn to be still within, learn to sit more with inward and control those emotions a little bit. I don't want to say control, just learn to read them, right? And the ladies that do my courses know exactly what I'm talking about because this is something that I've taught, especially in our self-sabotage course. You have to learn to read your emotions, okay, and understand the messages in which they are conveying so that you know what to do with them. But here's the most important part of that message, Roger, is I feel like you look for valid, like you second guess yourself over everybody else. So you'll be the first one to think you're wrong, right? Like, I don't know how, like you'll know something, you'll want something, but the moment somebody else is like, nah, let's do this, you'll be like, no, yeah, you're right. Let's do that. That's right. Or you wait for people's approval for things. And Spirit is like, no, like learn to trust your strength and your power. There's something with that. You definitely got to turn that compass in, focus into your solar plexus area. I'm not done. I'm going to pull a card. Solar plexus area needs to be a focus for you for like the next 2 or 3 weeks. And the heart. Do not forget about the heart ever. Keep opening the heart. Tune into the heart. Listen to the heart because you're behind on a few things, nudges, right? Yes. Trust yourself more. Like, no, for the real. For the real, my friend. For the real. For the shizzle, my nizzle. Okay. Got to for the real. Okay. See, confidence is your key to success, Roger. Got to have that confidence within you, the knowing that you are the knowing, that you have the knowing. You know the knowing. You just got to tune inward. You got to tune inward. And you got to trust you. And you got to work through your fears. That's a big one. And I feel like that's how it's like you're afraid that your decisions are going to bite you in the ass. Like the stingray, like the freaking scorpion, right? They have the ass stinger. It makes so much sense. So work through your fears and trust in you. And a time for healing is now. I told you, you're going to have more releasing of emotions. So please continue to do so because you just shifted your timeline because of the choice that you made. So don't get back off of it, right? Stay that course, but allow it to change what it needs to change within and around you. So each time we make the choices to clear things, to grow, to be with love, to be with God, things should shift around you. It's not always going to be easy. There will be some challenges and tribulations, okay? But you need to learn to trust your heart, open your heart, and do not allow fear to guide you. Do not, because you're going to have to make decisions blindly where you won't have all the answers. You won't have all the answers, but you're going to have to trust in the real God who's in your heart. So there's a connection there that needs repaired. Okay. You also do have to heal some of that shadow because it's going to try to pull you back. It's like a rubber band that's going to smack you in the ass because you stood up to it. You know what I'm saying? So be strong in your decision. Okay. And then here's this. Surrender your desire to control people. Being over controlling can sabotage relationships. To more effectively achieve your goals, back off, regroup, and give the situation some breathing room. I'm not so sure you're always a controlling one. What I'm thinking is you're more submissive than not sometimes. It's almost like it's an imbalance of control. Let's put it that way. Learn what control is and where your power lies. I feel like that's your key here. Once you have that, you'll realize there's no need to control anything. It's all done inward. So we try to use our voice, but that's like the least effective thing in the universe to use. Because emotions in motion, energy in motion. Yes. Yes. Yes, exactly. Yeah, I don't think you're controlling at all. I think what this card is reflecting is the almost giving up your control too much. Does that make sense? That's what I'm saying. You've got to be careful with cards. If you read them at all pure face value and you don't read into the energy of the message, you may miss the true message, right? So confidence is your key in who you are, all right? But also in the knowing and the trusting in you. You're constantly afraid you're going to make the wrong decision, that your decisions aren't accurate and you need somebody else to help guide you. You have to heal that connection with true God. That is absolutely true. But you've changed your timeline, so your path will start releasing and rearranging even more. You're going to have more releasing of emotions coming through. Sorry. I don't know what happened in my throat right then. But with this, surrender your desire to control people. I feel like it's because you are used to people controlling you. And you have to balance control within you. Excuse me. Does that make sense? I don't see you as a controlling person. I see you of somewhat too submissive because you want to please people. You're a people pleaser. And that can get dangerous. You got to please yourself a little bit, right? Okay. So, yay. Freaking Roger, I'm so happy you were here. Stay the course, okay? Don't let the shadow take back over. Open your heart, heal your connection with the true God. He's in your heart. And we're all connected through that connection, right? Remember that. Everybody should remember that because we truly are all connected through that connection of the heart, of love. That's everything. Love is everything. And that's God. And that has been what has been brought back. And everything outside of that is what we have to let go of. And it's not as easy as you think it is, right? And this ascension, this return of Christ stuff will affect everybody in some way, shape, or form. And so it's super important to use every moment wisely, okay, for healing, for rising, for being open, because nothing happens to you. It only happens through you, okay? So just because everybody's like, hey, massive DNA activations are coming in, light is coming in, unless you are doing what it takes to receive it and be open to receive it, it's just going to blow right by you. You have to be connecting to God. Those that hear God in their heart space are generally on the path, right? They're getting their butts kicked a little bit left and right and center in lessons and things, but you have to be doing your job to receive these energies and release what is not. And then the activations flow after that. See? Okay. Aww. See? Exactly, Roger. Thank you for validating that. No, you got to trust you. So that's what God is asking you to do right now, is to trust your decision-making capabilities. That's what I said. That control card has nothing to do with you controlling others, but it has everything to do with you giving your control away. And in the end of days, that is dangerous, right? In the end of ways, I should say, because it's not the end of days for everybody, but it is the end of ways for everybody. You have to stop people pleasing. You have to. The only one that matters is you. But here's the thing. We are all here to help everybody. So there's that opposite side of that. People pleasing is not helping anybody. That is like a wound, another way of having a wound, right? Look at it, as soon as I heal my wound and I call my power back, I don't need to do that anymore. I can make people happy in other ways because nobody wants to be that for you. It's too much pressure. But stand in your own power. You can do it. You have your own power, because if you don't, who we're connected to can't do that for themselves either. Like, it's an individual path more than you know. The shadow is very crazy and messes with us all. And so the more that we go inward, trust our own power, listen to our gut, the more we allow those around us to do the same, the more we can all rise more easily. Okay. If we're so focused on others, you are not inward. If you are not trusting your decisions, you are not inward. You are not listening to your heart. And if you're not doing that, you're anchored into the shadow, which leaves you in danger of not making it through these energetic shifts. Because it has nothing to do with ego or me or being a cult leader or anything like that, you guys. If you think about it, what I did is remove darkness from light. You cannot anchor into darkness and stay on this planet. The vibration is too high. It is shifting to too high of a frequency. God's light has returned. So we have to be able to accept all of that. And the only way to do that is to let go of what doesn't match and what doesn't align. So think of things as a vibrational level. Love is up here. Unconditional love is up here. Everything else that doesn't match that vibration can't stay within you, right? So I've got to heal. You have to be in your own power. Like truly, truly, because you are powerful. God is within our heart. And if we are not working our way home to God within our heart, within our power, within our love, our abilities to love, our abilities to truly see the truth around us, within here, healing all of our wounds, then we're not on the path home. Make sense? Please you, my friend, start taking your power back and keep hearing that call, because that is the only thing we should be worrying about, is if we can hear God in our heart. And I'm so freaking proud that you finally did, even though you waited for your friend to do it first. You did it too. Now start listening to you and stop giving away your power, okay? That's why that course you were going to do is to call your power back. See how the shadow stopped you on that one too? I love it. All right, my friends, thank you for being here today. If you want some healings and to do some more messages, we will do lives on Tuesday on Facebook, okay? I will be doing a video tomorrow. It will have more of the eclipse energy in it. What it means, what God says is going to happen on that day, which honestly, I don't think much. We'll see. I will see what they say. I haven't channeled anything about it yet, but it's coming in the energy, so I need to. Okay. So expect that tomorrow in our It's in the Air weekly flowcast. All right, you guys. Thank you for joining me today. Roger, I'm so freaking happy you were here. You have watched the whole return of Christ unfold. Remember that. So much love to all of you. Have a beautiful, 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 beautiful rest of your day, wherever you are in this world. And don't forget to be a game changer, my friends, because it is the end of the game. Okay? I know. Thank you, just for saying that. You guys, there was actually a big push for me not to come. There's been a big push for me to quit everything again. There's been a big push for me to do everything against God right now, because I know it has to do with the twin flame. So it did take a lot. Yes, and right back at that for Lisa too. Just sending a prayer for Lisa. Sending so much love and prayers. You know, these are challenging. We don't know why some things happen. First thing we always want to do is wonder why God chooses these things, but we have to remember there's free will involved too, okay? From every side. And so we never know why. Just send love, sending all love, and that's all we can do right now. So much love to you. Know that I'm still here. Even though I wasn't here all the way, I'm still trying to be here. I just really need my twin flame, but we all do. All right, you guys, have a beautiful day. I will channel about the solar eclipse coming. Everybody say a great blessing, because Roger heard the call of God, and I'm so happy about that. So when somebody hears the call of God, it makes me happy every day, because it's heard in the heart in the most subtle ways of self-growth and challenge and love. Love to you all. Okay, stay safe, be right, and be of love. Bye.